There we go. 3 prisoners have serious complaints. Hygiene problems. Funny. Why would that be a problem? Why are there hygiene problems? Okay, now they're showering. Okay, it was just before shower time, I see. It was just before shower time, and that's why they had shower problems. 10 visitors on site, 4 families waiting to visit. I might need bigger visitation. Probably do. So I think the parole, the shared parole doesn't really work, does it? Let me just check my programs. Parole. We'll see what happens this afternoon. Carjacking, 13 years. Plead guilty. 2%. Oh hey, you're free. You're a free man, dude. You are getting out of this parole hearing. Okay. So wait, what? Oh crap. Well, 2 people just died. Snitch. Ex-law enforcement. It's always the snitches. That's so bad. Man. My prison does nothing to protect snitches. Literally nothing. I can build a protective custody wing. I can do that. And then I can just put them into protective custody their entire lives. I just don't know if I want to do that. Like, it doesn't bother me, right, if they don't get protective custody. Look, parole, there's only 1 guy in parole. Oh, the parole, you can't share the parole. You can't share the parole. Alright, I'm gonna dismantle that. So, wait, who? Someone died again. Wow, people are dying left and right. Okay, who's that guy? Who died? Can we get some guards over here, please? Okay, there we go. Who died there? Snitch. Yep. 4 people died today. That's a lot of dead people. Alright, so the parole doesn't work like that. Materials. Let's put that back there. And demolish that wall there. And rooms. That is not parole. Which means parole. Where's my parole here? That means we don't need 2 of those, just need 1 of those each. Alright, good. There's 14 in queue, so we need more parole. We're making ridiculous amounts of money. Why is that? Given that, 4 people died today. Actually, 4 people is quite close to 10 people. If 10 people die in 1 day, I lose the game. Right, so maybe I should be a little bit more concerned about that. Maybe I should think about protective custody. You know what I mean? Legal prep. I'm just gonna. I don't have money. Legal prep and legal defense? Do I need those? I mean, 4 people died in one day. Maybe I do need those. Escapes. Ah, stop it. Alright, well. Let me slow that down. Oh, let me just remove that tunnel there. Man, they're fast diggers, aren't they? Real fast diggers. Search? It's probably that one. Search. 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 And search. Well, there it is. That's not the one we're looking for, though, is it? Oh, there's another one. Everyone's digging away. Everyone's trying to get away. You people. You've gotta be kidding me. Everyone's trying to escape. Materials, remove tunnels. Come on. That's just silly now, isn't it? So, there's one escapes? What? Oh wow. Really? The guy escaped while it was too dangerous, failed 1 time. Come on. Oh, there's a dummy there. There's a dummy under the bed. That's so funny. That's so funny. There's a dummy in the bed. Alright, well that's pretty entertaining. Alright, please remove that. Please remove that. What is even happening right now? I mean, it's kind of amusing, but is it a big deal? Like, does it... Well, maybe I was wrong. Maybe we don't just cut and paste, or copy and paste our way to victory. Maybe the game does require better management in the future. Because 4 people died today, and then someone escaped. So... do I need to be more careful? Do I need to increase security? Like, seriously increase security? The other thing we might think about is, yeah, so increase the boundary security and protective custody, possibly. There needs to be a button to search all toilets. Like, like searching the entire block is not really what we want. What we want to do is like search all toilets, or like search for tunnels. Logistics, no, deployment, staff only. Storage staff only, all of that is staff only. Alright, that's good. 12 visitors on site in 5 groups? Someone died again. Okay, where is it? Who died? Snitch! Ex-law enforcement. Can we get like... can we automatically move snitches into protective custody? Like, the thing is, we can't even identify them. prisoners, high risk. Like, when you mouse over these guys, it doesn't tell you who they are or what they are. I mean, I understand the concept of the game. I understand, alright, snitches get killed very often, just like in the real world. But the game doesn't really give you an effective way to manage that. Oh wow. Like, I mean, like, you see all these numbers here, and all these kind of icons and things, but like, there's no way to just kind of select all snitches. You know what I mean? So there's a mechanic of the game killing them off, but there's no mechanic for you, the player, to manage them easily. Like, managing them is actually really, really complicated and frustrating. Because you have to literally click on each prisoner one at a time to find the guy with the snitch trait. And then manually move them to protective custody. Like, that's not really a smooth gameplay experience. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want to keep playing. I might just stop the playthrough here. I believe the game is still in early access, so the game is supposedly still under development. I mean, it's pretty good so far. But it'll be better if there's more end game, or like if there's better control of the prison as it gets bigger, for example. Like, finding your snitches more easily. And other, like, it just doesn't seem as smooth at scale. Like, when your prison is about 100 prisoners, that's like, it feels like the current maximum is about 100 prisoners. And beyond that, it's not, the game is not smooth in terms of gameplay. But even that's like a really good start. The campaign missions were really, really interesting. The tutorial campaign is really well done. The sandbox is pretty good up until you get to about 150 prisoners, like up until this point here. And then it gets into like really copy and paste. And even when you copy and paste, you can't copy and paste more than that, which is, again, it's like the game doesn't expect you to play it at scale. Like, when you just get a really big prison, the game doesn't have the components or have the mechanics that allow you to efficiently play the game at scale, which is a little unfortunate. It's a bit unfortunate. But yeah, otherwise it's a really great game. I want to design a better prison. I really do. The problem is that the game is not smooth when it gets big. That's the only problem. I mean, I want to, for example, build a perimeter wall. Like, I want to buy the land until I have enough land to build my 1,000 person prison. And then I want to put a perimeter wall around the whole thing. And then I want to build a separate wing for protective custody. And then I want to expand until I have 1,000 people. Like, I want to do all these things, but as the game continues, it gets increasingly unwieldy to do that. It's like, I mean, it's the same problem with SimCity, with SimCity 4. And I guess, well, actually not so much. Interestingly, like SimCity 4, like, as your city gets bigger and bigger, it's just you're doing the same thing over and over again, except bigger, except more. And that's what SimCity 4 feels like. SimCity 5, you can't actually build a big city, so never mind that. City Skylines, interestingly, is not like that. Because City Skylines is traffic based, which is kind of weird. So like all of this, it's like this is planning based. You're planning for residential services, like industrial services, and then not much commercial. So like this is like a SimCity game, a little bit like a SimCity game, but it's planning. It's mostly planning based, like where to put people, what facilities you give them, and things like that. And it's not traffic based in the sense that people just move around and there's no congestion the way there's congestion in City Skyline. City Skyline is traffic based. I mean there's still planning, but the traffic engineering is the biggest part of that game. And that keeps it interesting. Let me see. Yep, another Stitch died. So like you can build a really big city, but as long as your existing city, the traffic is fine there, you don't really need to do anything about the existing city. You just have to move on to the next part of the city to make sure everything else works fine. Yeah, like I want to do those things, but first of all, it's going to take a long time for me to buy all the land and then build the boundary wall. And then copy and pasting is not efficient because you can only copy and paste a little bit at a time. And then you can't identify snitches easily, so you have to kind of imagine you have like 1,000 people in your prison. How do you find the snitches? You literally have to click on every single one individually to find the snitches. So what? Every single day you have to kind of pause the game when they come through the intake, and then manually find the snitches. So it's just not efficient. Like if you have a simple rule like if a snitch is identified, automatically change their status to protective custody, and then you can like have your logistics, your deployment, and have say protective custody only, and just kind of select these kind of zoning tools to kind of then move them in to separate them from the other prisoners. If you can automate that process, then I'd be quite happy to build a protective custody wing. It's not that I can't build a protective custody wing. I kind of want to, but the reason I'm not doing it is because even if I build the wing, I still have to manually click through every person coming into the prison. And even then, you don't identify them immediately. Sometimes you identify them afterwards, like after they spend some time in the prison, then you find out they're snitches. And so you still have to every day maybe like go through your entire prison population of 1,000 people to find all the snitches and then set them to protective custody manually. Like I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. And so like I don't want to have to do that level of micromanaging. It seems unnecessarily tedious. So that's the state of the game so far. It's really fun at about 50 prisoners. It's pretty much maxes out at about 100 prisoners, and then beyond that, there's not enough tools in the late game, I feel, to make it worthwhile to manage a really big prison. It's just missing a few automation tools, is what I think. And I think I'm gonna end the playthrough here. It's a little disappointing that I don't just keep expanding. Like I mean, it's an open-ended game and I can keep expanding, but you can imagine what's gonna happen. I'm just gonna copy this down here, and that'll give me 260, and I'll copy the whole thing over. That will give me 500. Actually, it will give me 600 and no 500 and 500 and wait a minute, 260, 520, and then I copy the whole thing again. It gives me 1,040, and then that's my biggest prison, and it's just going to be this except copy and pasted. And yeah, it's just not. I don't need to play that to know how that's going to go. I mean, there'll be more and more tunnels, and there'll be more and more people, more and more snitches getting killed every day, and it's just not interesting. It's so the game is great until you get to the end game, and then it's not that, and it loses the interest after a while, which is a real shame. Like, look at this, we're doing so good, everything is going so well. Let me just check my 15% reoffending rate. Amazing. I mean, we've solved the game, right? We've solved the game, and if we just keep going, it's not gonna. We already solved it. It's just more work, but it doesn't get us any more fun or interest. So I'm gonna stop here. Maybe I'll play Prison Escape a few more times. Actually, I won't want. Just gonna save the game here, and that's gonna be it. I think. Save the prison. Unless they have some seriously big updates, and they add some end game optimizations, I don't see myself playing this game again. Again, there's a part of me that wants to build a proper prison with separate wings for separate security levels, and just do it right. Like, just kind of do it right. Except that I haven't really done it right, and I've already solved the game. So there's no real motivation for me to build a prison that's correct in real life, when the game is not going to reward me anymore for doing it. So yeah, it's a good game. I mean, we've got quite a lot of hours of gameplay out of this, and as a management game, especially a fairly indie one, it's really, really good. So I recommend this. I do. If you don't know how to design prisons, I recommend you find a book and read about designing prisons, even though that sort of textbook you'll probably only find in a university library. It's a very interesting read, just looking at all the practical security things you have to go through. And yeah, it's very interesting. It's a very interesting topic and a very interesting game, but doesn't scale well into the end game. Alright, I'll stop rambling. I'll see you in future playthroughs.